everyone's been so nice. It makes it so hard. We'll see. I'll try to go no microphone for a little bit. I'll move to microphone if I have to. 2.5 years ago today. Oh, you better hide, baby. 2.5 years ago today, Ken stood up and gave a speech at the best man at my wedding. And really heartfelt. I remember him standing up there and he looked at me and he said, Scotty, he said, you know, if I ever do this whole wedding thing, I promise you there's only one way I can repay you. And it's if I ask you to be my best man on my day. Fast forward 2.5 years later, here I am about, what do you say, like 6 drinks in. Family and friends, some of whom you've never even met. Let's hear, we need a microphone. Ken, how are you feeling about that promise right about now? I'm good. Yeah. That's probably right. Fortunately, you're in great company because the only person more nervous than you is probably my wife, Anna. Has reminded me at least like 7 times before tonight, Scott, remember, it's a wedding. It's nice, classy. If only it were so easy. Put it this way, if I'm gonna fly across the entire world and someone's gonna give me a microphone in front of you people, I'm gonna bet my money.
You're out on a man, Scotty.
No matter what happens, I love you.
Okay.
So, the story starts. Ken and I became really, the start of our relationship was in, I think it's university, as you say out here. I'm starting to learn the language a little bit. I got bloke down, university. Starting university, we lived together for 4 straight years in university. I feel worse for him than I do. We did a lot of things together, some of which I don't remember now, but I'm sure were really funny. One of the things that we did that was worthwhile is we watched a ton of movies, and I'm talking like crazy addiction level. If there was a movie made between 1950 and the time that we graduated, we probably saw it. But funny enough, there was one movie that we didn't see together. And it was a little movie called Shrek, which some of you might be familiar with. If you're not, though, Shrek is a tale of a bald, sort of ugly, not so proper ogre, and in contrast, a beautiful, lovely, perfect princess, Fiona.
So true.
Our hero, Shrek Harris. Let's wait on the hero, Shrek Harris. In the movie, Shrek travels to a faraway land and falls in love with his princess, Fiona. Now, a little part of the story that somehow gets lost when people remember the movie is that along the way, he also, Shrek, becomes friends with a little, quite adorable, funny, and just all around great donkey. I mean, let's call a spade, you know, there's other words for donkeys. His little friend that he meets along the way, he can be kind of an ass. Especially when giving a speech after a couple of drinks. Life imitating art at its finest, huh? There are times it's funny when I think about when Ken and our Princess Fiona met on their journey in their faraway land of New Zealand, just the time they first met, so a reenactment, if you will. Hi, I'm Kim. I'm American. I'm unemployed. Don't mind my hairline. Oh, by the way, I'm Jewish. Fortunately, it's okay, because fortunately, as Shrek reminds us, and this is a direct quote, there's a lot more to ogres than people think. As Shrek says in the movie, and you might remember this, ogres are like onions. Onions have layers.
Right.
Ogres have layers! And I figured, as I'm preparing for my speech, which Pammy can attest, started probably the day that Ken told me he was getting married, what better time to explore these layers than in front of all your family and friends? For the very first time. Right? Great time.
He's in deep shit.
Why not? So let's get into those layers. Let's peel the onion back a little bit on our hero, Shrek Harris. I think they only gave me 10 minutes, but I'm going to forget that. I forgot that after about the third drink. So let's peel back the onion. What do you say? So the first thing I want to do is I really want to debunk a myth about Shrek Harris. And you know, some of you heard that Ken talked about his commitment to his Jewish heritage and how it's really important to you, but I'm sure some of you, that might scare you a little bit. You know, it's probably the first time you've seen a Jew in your life is tonight. Ken is not really Jewish. There are two reasons I know Ken's not Jewish. It has nothing to do with whether he goes to a synagogue or whether he goes to a church or whether he likes to break the glass when he gets married. That doesn't matter. There's two reasons why I know he's not Jewish. The first, and this will be new to some of you, but Ken is handy. He knows how to fix things. Now, every once in a while, his Jewish blood gets into him, like when he almost cut off his thumb. But put that aside, generally speaking, Ken knows how to fix things. We Jews, we don't know how to fix things. I remember the first day at university, Ken and I moved in, and it is like 95 degrees. I don't know what that is in Celsius. That still confuses me. But it's hot. It's hot. And there Ken is. He's on his hands and knees. He's pulling out carpet. He's putting in carpet. He's installing things. I'm just watching in fear. The only time a Jew is on his hands and knees is when he's apologizing to his wife. That is what I'm going to be doing after the speech is over when I get home. That's only reason number one. So the other reason I know Ken's not Jewish, Ken is really comfortable in the outdoors. I know this table, we know. The only time that we're really comfortable in the outdoors is when we're sitting on our cruise ship, drinking our cocktail. Like, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? What would it be like to go in there? Not Ken. This guy is Mr. Outdoors. For those of you that you don't know him yet, I mean, Ken selected his graduate school degree. He didn't look at, like, where has the best business program. He said, where can I find the highest mountains that I can attack? He picks his jobs by where he can buy the most gear for his outdoor activities. I actually saw it firsthand. Ken and I went to, this is what happens if you fit like a real Jew and a not real Jew. We go to Yosemite National Park in California, and we go for a hike. We went for like 3 days, or I should say, let's put it right. Ken went for a hike. I followed in fear, hoping not to get eaten by a bear or die of a heart attack. But there was Ken, like, leading the way, living in his element. He's cleaning the water. He's making our tents. He's just really soaking it up. And thankfully, he saved my life because I wouldn't have made it through that alone.
Still playing here.
The moral of the story, though, is Ken's not Jewish. Don't worry. You can all sleep easy tonight. It's okay. There are no horns there. All right. That's just layer one of the onion. We're all on layer one. How much more time do I have? Let's peel back the onion a little more. What do you say? Peel it back a little more.
Go for it.
Why not? Why not? We're here. Don't want to forget my layer. The second layer, if we peel back a little more, Ken has an uncanny ability to lose. It's crazy. It's crazy. He's like the most competitive guy I've ever known, but he loses like 99% of the time. I'm comfortable in this. I'm for short, like very like plain-looking Jewish guy, maybe like subpar. I have a fair amount of self-confidence. Fear not, like 99% of that is due to him. It's because in university, we competed at everything. I'm talking like, whether it was video games or golf, like stuff I've never even played. It didn't matter. I won. It was awesome.
It messes with your head.
Yeah, that's what they say. But it really worked out quite well because like Ken takes it so great, and it's like I had 3 younger sisters, so I never knew what it was like to have, you know, a little brother. And Ken was an only child, never knew what it was like to have a big brother, so it worked out perfectly. And look, he still smiles after all those losses. What more could you ask for? Peel it back. One more onion. We got all night. You peel back the onion a little bit more.
You were so much trouble, Scotty.
I know. I was going to do like half of this.
No.
I kept it.
Not if you want to make it back to America.
I know. Listen, I'm not in trouble with him. It's her. If you peel it back a little more, Ken, you know, one of an interesting quality of Ken is that I think they're going to donate his brain to science. Not because he's so smart, because he's like, it's a scientific miracle. Ken has 0 memory. 0! It's fascinating! I've never seen anything like it. And I tell you this, like, not to make fun of him. I know it's his big night. It's really to protect him. Some of you are going to look at Ken tonight, and you're going to look at his hand. And you're going to be like, what are those ill-formed tattoos all over his hand? What is going on? Don't worry, he's not a Harley Davidson kind of guy. Those are his daily notes. He writes them on his hand because he can't remember anything. So if you, for example, if you look at his hand this morning, it's, you know, remember, have to get married? Don't forget Rogaine? I mean, I know, like, the Americans in the room, and even, I actually owe an apology to both the Americans. This is on behalf of you. I'm saving you, buddy. And Fiona, you know, you must have been wondering, like, why did I get noticed for a wedding? International wedding? In February? They found out in November? What is that? Fiona's like, you know, we lived together a long time. Sort of in sin. You know, we lived under the same roof. Why didn't he propose earlier? On behalf of Ken, I apologize. He meant to do that a year ago. It's like the ink ran off his You gotta use the permanent marker for the important stuff. Engagement, that's permanent markers. Sorry. Anyway, all right. So we could peel back this onion a little more, but you know it gets smelly and people start to cry. We'll stop here because at the end of the day, what this is really about is the McGuire family. You know, you family of friends who this is maybe the first time you meet him, maybe not, but it's like, this is a new part of our life. Should I be comfortable with this guy entering my life? And is it okay? And I will say, with all the layers there at the end of the day, there's 0 you have to worry about. Because if you peel back all these layers, within there is also the kindest, sweetest, most easygoing best friend that a guy could ever ask for. There's a reason why our friendship has been able to survive not just cities, coasts, countries, worlds apart. It's because you are just an unbelievable person, and I am blessed and honored to be standing here today and to be your friend. And, you know, honestly, besides like these like layers that we talked about, there's not a husband in this room that wouldn't tell you when you're about to get married that having a short memory and learning to accept loss are not going to be unbelievable qualities for you. baby.
Ready.
I mean, I've only been married for 2.5 years, and I'm not a math guy like you, but there's one equation that I have learned very early on. Happy wife equals happy life. That's like, write that down, permanent marker. Happy wife equals happy life, permanent marker. And you know, what makes, on top of all this, as honors that I'm to be here for Ken, I think what makes this night so special is that Fiona is just so perfect for Ken. And they are so perfect together. And really, I think, among other reasons, the first reason that I know that they're perfect together is because, among other things, she will no doubt carry on the time-honored tradition of beating Ken at everything. Only she can do something I can't do. Like, I could beat Ken in like games and stuff, like video games and all this stuff. Fiona can beat him, like literally. I see the fear in your eyes. Are you worried about crossing her? I like it. I know you do too. But they also have another thing in common. And I noticed that when my wife and I went out to Vancouver to visit Ken and Fiona, and we went for a hike with them, or, you know, in the time-honored tradition of Jew and non-real Jew hiking, Ken and Fiona hiked. My wife and I followed in fear, hoping not to get eaten by a bear and hoping not to die of a heart attack. So we continued that on. But there was Fiona on that hike, and it was like she's leading the way, just soaking up every ounce of the outdoors. You just see like the passion oozing out of her. Mind you, it's not sweat oozing out of her like it is like me. She's just moving on like a machine and loving every minute of it. But it hit me as I'm watching her. It's like, this is Ken. It was like identical to my experience with Ken in Yosemite back in 2007. I was like, you know what? They're absolutely perfect for each other. And, you know, Ken and Fiona, I have no idea where your life's journey is going to take you. But I have no doubt that there are no two more perfect people to go on that adventure together. And so if everyone could please raise their glass. I've raised it plenty of times. You can go one more time. To a life filled of love, happiness, and adventure. And as us Jews who are not so comfortable in the outdoors would say, Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov. Well done, Scott.